So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Accelerated Graphics and Signs, 101 East Renfro, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, can handle all of your graphic needs. Need a banner or promotional products for your business? They got you covered. T-shirts and caps for your group. All you need to figure out is if you want them screen printed or embroidered. How about some slick graphics on that hot ride to make you stand out from the crowd? Accelerated Graphics and Signs can handle anything you throw at them. Located at 101 East Renfro Street, Sweet C in Burleson, Texas, go in and see them. Call them at 817-991-0523 or reach them on the web at www.acceleratedgraphics.net. They are loud and proud and want to serve you. Accelerated Graphics.
When you're hungry for tender brisket or some delicious homemade cobbler, then look no further than Leach Brothers Barbecue, located at 1106 East Henderson, Cleburne, Texas. Leach Brothers has been family-owned and operated since 1950. Take it from me, Taco Joe Orwinski. Todd and his family have been filling my belly breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a long time. Heck, I even have my own booth, open Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come see them for dine-in, carry-out, and all your catering needs.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Joco Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
I need to unmute me. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. We are going to be talking today about, well, it's part 2 of the James Clear Atomic Habits. So I've got some more stuff here to cover because we only covered, his first and second chapter, which were great and gave us some good ideas and some good things to kind of get started with breaking those ineffective habits. Remember, they're not good or bad habits, they're ineffective habits, right? Or effective habits. So sometimes we do have good, which would be effective habits, right? So we can keep those, but let's figure out how to address the ones that we've been really wanting to address and just haven't yet. right? Let's figure that out. So the second law, so he has these in laws, right? We did first law, second law, and now we're going to be covering, no, we did the first law. I'm sorry. The first law was very long. So now we're in the second law. So what if habits get boring? I mean, this happens, right? Like, so say you really want to go work out and you want to go to the gym and you've been wanting to get fit because that is something that has been holding you back from living your best life. Maybe you're comparing yourself to other people that are around you that may have a more fit or healthier figure, and you're wanting that too. However, you find it boring going to the gym, or you make excuses to not go to the gym, right? So that would have been covering our first law. Our second law, now we're going to figure out how we can break that boringness, right? Getting over there by yourself. Say you don't have anybody that you can really go with. A lot of times that's really helpful, guys. If you can find a partner that will go with you and be there, just to push you and you push that person to get in there and keep going, your accountability partner, that's really helpful too. And it can be less boring in that sense, right? But again, if it's boring because you're by yourself and you're on the treadmill and you're just, you do 5 minutes and you're like, I'm done. Well, at least you got 5 minutes in, so I'm proud of you. But again, we need to kind of break that, right? So let's figure out how we can have those boring habits that are actually a effective habit that we might need. Okay, let's figure it out. How can I stick with it? Exactly. Like the gym, right? How do I stick with it? Because you may go that one day for 5 minutes and then you're done. How can we do this? There are many ways to stick with a new habit. And I cover the most important ones throughout the book. So again, if you have not read this book, it's really essential that you do. I'm just kind of giving you the breakdown of what he has in his book so we can kind of maybe get a little excited and really want to read it or listen to it, like on Audible. That's one of my favorite things to do, by the way. So anyway, so the temptation bundling is one way to apply psychological theory known as Premack's principle. I've never heard of this until I read this book. Named after the work of Professor David Premack. The principle states that more probable behaviors will reinforce less probable behaviors. Okay, so more probable behaviors will reinforce less probable behaviors. Okay. Boom. Mic drop. No. Okay, here we go. One other word, if you can find something you already want to do and connect it with the habit that you need to do, you'll be more likely to complete the habit. What? See, this is good stuff, guys. Good stuff. All right, because we want these good habits. We want the effective habits, and we don't want the ineffective ones, like sitting on the couch and munching on chips. When we really want to have that healthy body, we keep looking at these healthy bodies and we want a healthy body, but we keep sitting on the couch and eating chips and drinking sodas. Cut the sodas out too, please. Don't drink soda. Sorry, soda factory people. I apologize. Not really, but don't drink those. If you do, moderation. Everything in moderation. Okay. So here we go. I lost where I was. You're more likely to find a behavior attractive if you get it done. If you get to do one of your favorite things at the same time. Okay. So kind of multitasking, right? Not a lot of us are really good at multitasking. Let's see what else he says here. Perhaps you want to hear about the latest celebrity gossip, but you need to get in shape. Here, back to the gym, right? I love that one. It's my favorite. Using temptation bundling, you could only read tabloids and watch reality shows at the gym. Okay. This simple rule allows you to bundle your temptation to read tabloids with your habit of going to the gym. Boom. There you go. So if you want to go to the gym, but you are stuck on the couch reading tabloids and listening to the latest gossip and looking at those and going, oh, I wish I had that healthy body like she does. Not too skinny though, but a healthy body. Now you've got it to where you can do both. Do both. You never have to limit yourself. The only thing that you are limiting is you when you limit yourself, when you put those limitations on you. And this is just part of what I wanted to talk about too, right? Because limitations and being aware are two things that if we have both of those, if we eliminate the limitations, right? And we're aware of our limitations, then we can really dig deep into some of these ineffective habits and really get into the effective habits, right? So that's where we need to start. We need to be aware, and we also need to break those limitations. Stop with the limitations. It was funny. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and I was talking about how we can't control others, but we can control ourselves, right? And that's huge. And in order to control ourselves, we need to remember too that a lot of times that control is we limit ourselves from the things that we really want to do because we have to have control over the things that we don't want to do, right? It's like we feel we really have to do this, and it's ineffective. It's not affecting anything good. It's not serving you, right? So now, therefore, because it's not serving you, now we've got it to where we're limiting ourselves, right? Now we've taken that's not serving us, and we feel like we have to do it. But we don't. We don't. There are some things that you just don't really have to do, and that's where that limitation comes from. All right, let's dig a little bit more deep into here. I wanted to kind of get into that because, again, we do have to be aware, and we do have to make sure we're not limiting ourselves, because there's nothing we can't do. Can't should never be a word that you put in your vocabulary. You can do anything you set your mind to. Now, am I telling you if you go and jump off of a bridge and there's nothing underneath there, but there's no water or anything that you're jumping into or a cable that is attached to you? Come on now, let's be realistic. We do have realistic things that like you can't fly, but you can. You can put a wingsuit on and you can fly like a bird. So there you go. There is, if you set your mind to it, there's always something you really can do. Now, without the wingsuit, could you fly? No, probably not. Do you need to actually get trained before you can put on the wingsuit? Yes. I think you have to have 200 jumps. You have to have 200 jumps out of an airplane in order by yourself, 200 by yourself in order to get a wingsuit. Pretty sure it's 200. I'll ask my husband, but it's 200. He likes to go skydiving, and his brother has had, I think he's over 200 jumps actually currently. So he could do a wingsuit if he wanted to. Anyway, let's go back to it. I had a squirrel moment. All right, let's go back. All right, so where were we? This simple rule allows you to bundle your temptations to read the tabloids with your habit of going to the gym. And you're more likely to do what you need to do if it means you get to do something you really want to do along the way. So that's pretty much what we said, right? We're not limiting ourselves anymore. How can I stay motivated when my habits go against the grain of my social environment? So as I cover in chapter 9, he covers this. The social norms are powerful driver of our everyday behavior. If you find yourself in a social situation where your desired habits go against the grain of the group, then it will be hard to stick with it because doing seems unattractive. An inversion of the second law, right? So the best option is to join a culture where your desired behavior is normal behavior and you already have something in common with the group. So get in those groups. There are so many groups, like what I was talking about. There's CrossFit groups. Meet those people. Now, CrossFit is not one of my biggest I'm not a biggest fan of it, and it's hard on your body. Okay, so you have to be semi-healthy before you can get CrossFit. I'm just saying, like, that's my point. That's my opinion. Okay, that is my opinion. Because again, it is really harsh on your body, and if you've got a lot of excess weight, that can sometimes cause things to happen, such as knees. You can harm your knees because you've got that additional weight. So you're putting more impact and weight on your knee that your knee is not ready for. That's just my opinion. I do feel there are beginner steps to get you to where you need to be, depending on where you are on your body and what your body shape is. I really feel that way. I feel Hot Works. If you haven't been to Hot Works, definitely. I know I talk about them a lot, but that place is amazing. It's amazing. I think they can get you where you need to be if you want to get into CrossFit. But again, there are groups, there are people that go there, start meeting those people, and then start really putting yourself in that environment. And remember, in the first law, we need to put ourselves in those environments that help us want to do it more, right? So if we're sitting on the couch all the time, and I'm sitting on the couch right now because I'm laid up, okay? I got a boot on, so don't judge me. No judgment. No. We don't judge. However, sitting on the couch all the time is one of those things. Like, if you can take yourself out of that environment, if you can put a note there saying, I'm going to do this before I do that, right? Before I come and sit on this couch, I'm going to do this. And then that puts it in your mind. Now you're creating that in your mindset, and now you're putting it into effect. So it's huge, right? That's huge. All right. So when this is possible, you'll need to leverage the remaining 3 laws of behavior change, just like what we were talking about, right? You need to put law 1 into law 2. If you can manage to make a habit obvious, easy, and satisfying, then it is possible you'll be able to stick with it if it runs against the social norm. So again, we need to put ourselves in a more positive understanding of what we really want to do in our behavior, right? For what effective habit we want to do, we need to put that in a more happy social situation and change the environment. Okay. So those are huge. So let's break down into the third law. Let's get into the third law now. I know I should do it, but I still don't. Why can't I get started? Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that happens so much. So much happens to me. I'm not even going to lie. I'm putting myself in this category because a lot of times we do find ourselves still stuck in those ineffective habits, and we feel we just can't change it. Because what does change do? A lot of us are scared of change, and that's the ego. The ego is breaking in. And this is what I got to say about the ego. I've got something I want to bring into this before we go deeper into the third law, because I really want to talk about the ego. The ego will cause you to stay in those ineffective habits because we're human, right? But what is ego? What does ego stand for? It edges God out. Have you ever heard that before? Ego edges God out. So when we allow our ego to conduct these ineffective habits and to keep these ineffective habits in place, we're only bringing ourselves into a pattern of not living the lifestyle or living or being who we want to be. Let's think about that. Who do you really want to be? What do you want to be? Where do you want to be in life? Do you want to be stuck, or do you want to actually live your best life? So let me talk about this. This weekend to the lake, I went to Lake Whitney, and I went with some amazing group of friends. And my ego was really trying to mess with me. Okay. And I was worried about going, which that's my ego. I had a fear that I was going to get further hurt. And I had my ego, because ego is fear. Okay. That's your ego. When you're afraid of something, that is your ego setting in place. So I'm telling on myself right now. And this is why, because I am human, but I'm aware of it. And I got myself aware of it. And I knew, I was like, why am I afraid? I have amazing people here. My husband's going to be there. And I have amazing friends that are going to help me and get me through this. They're not going to allow me to get hurt. They don't want me to get hurt further. They're going to, and they did. Let me tell you, I had my little knee scooter and I was off-roading a lot, and they were scared too. And I was like, don't be scared. Nobody needs to be scared. I've already broke this out of myself. I've already told myself, that's my ego. Let it go. Let it go. Like Frozen, like that song, like she says, let it go. You need to keep that in your head 24/7, except don't get yourself stuck with that song because now I'm going to be singing it all day long. So don't do that. And I'm sorry if I did that to you. Anyway, so we had the knee scooter and I was going off-roaded and I could see the fear in their faces, but I've got a smile on my face. I'm like, I got this, y'all. I got this. And I did. I did because I took my ego out. I took my ego out and I knew I could do it. I knew that I was going to, this weekend was serving me because it was peaceful and it was something that was enjoyable and I loved every minute of it. And I broke their fear because I broke my energy of that when I knew that I needed to let go of it. Okay. So I wanted to bring that in because again, that kind of goes with what we're talking about, right? Why shouldn't I do it, but I still don't? Or why I want to do it, but I still don't, right? And that's the ego. That is the ego. A lot of it is either fear. You're afraid of going to the gym because you don't look like a lot of the ones that are there. Who cares? Who cares? That you're there for a reason, just the same reason that you're there, they're there for that same reason. Okay. They may have a little healthier body, but they've been doing it longer. They stuck with it. So if you want to stick with it, this is how we're going to do that. All right, let's break into it. Let's get in here. Let's see what happens. All right. So even when you know you should start small, it's easy to start too big. What? Now that is huge. Let me tell you, because when you go to the gym, you want to look like that so much. You have overworked. Do you know that you could overwork and you're not seeing any results because of it? Because you're doing too much. You're at the gym too long. That is the thing. That is the thing. Do you know as a woman in your 30s and over, you should not be working out more than 40, really 35 minutes, but 45 minutes is the max. If you're working out over 45 minutes, you have overworked your body and you're not going to see results because your body is not responding anymore. It's just like medication. If you're taking medication for too long, your body stops responding to it because you're taking the same thing, right? So when you're doing the same workouts and you're overdoing those workouts, now your body is not responding to it. So let's see what more he says about this. Let's get more deeper into it. When people want to build a new habit, like running every week, they think they are making it easy by saying something like, I'll run for 15 minutes. In reality, this is still too big. A truly tiny behavior is something like put on my running shoes or fill up my water bottle. Those are the small, simple things that he's talking about that you start with. Isn't that crazy? So when you start just putting your tennis shoes on in the morning, it's the first thing you do. Like we said earlier in the first law, you put your workout clothes right next to your bed. You already have them ready. That is the small step that he's talking about right here too. You put on your tennis shoes and you get your water bottle ready. Okay. You want to take on the smallest possible behavior that gets you moving in the right direction. The most effective way I know to counteract this tendency is to use the 2-minute rule. Which states, when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. What? Okay. All right. The idea is to make your habits as easy as possible to start. A new habit should not feel like a challenge. The actions that follow can be challenging, but the first 2 minutes should be easy. There you go. And then once you get out there and you get on the track, or you go out to, say you've got a perfect yard, you have like a cul-de-sac and you can run that cul-de-sac and down the street and come back. You have accomplished something. And once you've accomplished that, even the first day, even if you just put your tennis shoes on, you get your water bottle ready and you go walk. And you just start with a walk for 5 minutes. I'm telling you, he is saying even 5 minutes. If you can go out there and even do just 5 minutes, you're going to feel good about yourself. And if you keep doing 5 minutes every day, you're going to start doing more. You're going to start wanting to do more of it. I promise you. I have lived this. I have done this, and it works. Okay? It works. Now, the next one. I know I shouldn't do it, but I can't stop. How can I stay disciplined? Now, this is for those ineffective habits. You know you should be getting off the couch. You know you should be getting up out of bed earlier so that you can get your workout in. But I don't have the discipline. How can we get this discipline? Let's see what he says about it. If you find yourself falling into an unwanted habit again and again, one of the most effective strategies is to create a commitment device. A commitment device is a choice you make in the present that controls your actions in the future. It is a way to look in future behavior, bind you to good habits, and restrict you from bad ones. For example, if you wish you didn't sleep in late, then setting up an early morning meeting is a commitment device. Oh, that forces you to get out of bed. Suddenly, there is a cost to staying in bed. The unwanted behavior becomes more painful and less satisfying, an inversion of the fourth law, which we'll get to soon, right? There are many ways to create a commitment device. You can reduce overeating by purchasing food in individual packages rather than bulk size. Now, that really works. Let me tell you, I have actually really done this and it works so well. I have started buying those little, so they have those P1 or P2 little packages with the one of our shoes is having, am I having a connection issue? Can y'all hear me still? I hope so. Okay, we're good. All right. Sorry, it popped up that you couldn't hear me. Okay, so basically, when you get those little tiny food things, it's amazing. It is amazing. It really broke my habits because if you get a big bag of those chips, I would eat way too many of them. I would. But when I started getting the smaller packages, like the little kid size, like lunch packages, that's all I bought. I didn't buy any more big bags of chips. First of all, my husband started eating less of the chips, and I started eating less of them. So that is a huge, huge thing. If you feel that you are over snacking and overeating, that's a good way to break that. All right, let's see what else. You can voluntarily ask to be added to the banned list at casinos and online poker sites to prevent future gambling sprees. Wait a minute. Did you hear that? If you have a gambling issue, you can voluntarily ask to be added to be banded to the banned list at the casino and online poker sites. Okay. You see, these are things that we don't really normally think of, right? But when somebody says it like that, it kind of breaks it down and it makes it seem like, wow, I could have done this. I got this. Huge, right? It's huge. So, for more examples of the commitment devices on how to use it, you can see this in his chapter 14, by the way. So you can go to chapter 14 and see more ways of breaking bad habits and ineffective habits. How long does it take to form a new habit? All right, let's figure this out. Hey, all right. This is one of the most common questions he hears. So he's going to give us the answer straight away. The research says that on average, it takes about 2 or 3 months for a habit to form. So don't give up. Okay. Do not give up. It will take a little bit for these good habits to form and to really stay active and to really stay a part of your everyday lifestyle. Okay. One study calculated that the average was 66 days to create a new habit. Of course, that was just one study, and the range in the particular study varied widely depending on the habit, anywhere from 3 weeks to over 8 months. Wow. 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 So again, do not give up. Keep doing it. Keep doing those small little habits, right? Make it small to make it big. It will get big, but you got to make it small first, like he says. However, okay, wait, hold on. However, all of the discussions about how long obscures the real issue. What people should really be asking is, how many does it take to form a new habit? So how many does it take to form a new habit? This is how many repetitions are required to make a habit atomic. I love how he says atomic habits. It is atomic. There is nothing magical about time passing with regard to habit formation. It doesn't matter if it's been 20 days or 30 days or 300 days. What matters is the rate at which you perform the behavior. Okay? You could do something twice in 30 days or 200 times. It's frequency that makes the difference. Again, just keep doing it. Like I was saying, small. Keep it small. Keep it simple. What do they say? Keep it simple, stupid. I've always loved that. It cracks me up. The key point is that building a new habit is, oh, we're about to go to break. Sorry. We're going to come back. We're going to break. I wasn't watching the clock. We're going to come to break and then we're going to be right back. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys. Hold on. I'll be back.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
We are back. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The Joco Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on jococommunityradio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-839-4245. All right. Hello. We are back. Now we can break it down some more on figuring out how long does it take to form a new habit. So let's see. Let's dive right back in, right? Let's do this because I got a little bit more to cover here. Trying to get it all in, guys. Trying to get it all in. All right. So, however, we're already there. So the key point is that building a new habit is not a finish line to cross, okay? But a lifestyle to be lived. I can't read today. There is no point where you cross the finish line and proof a new habit is created. Or poof. See, I can't read. What's going on today? All right. And poof, a new habit is created. If you want a habit to last, then you need to be willing to make it part of your long-term life. Long-term. We got to do this, guys. If you want to live your best life, we really have to work on getting getting these ineffective habits out and putting the effective habits in. Because look, I'm going to tell you right now, and I want to kind of cover this before I go further. Social media and the TV has really taken a lot out of what we remember when we were kids. I remember my generation, and I might be giving up my age here, but I don't care because a life of wisdom. I'm living a life of wisdom. No, I still have a lot to learn. Don't trust me. No matter how old you are, I think you're learning something. You still learn something daily, and you should be. I hope you are. So let me go back into the social media. So social media and your phone and your TV and your laptop and our oh gosh, what are they called? Hello, our little and like the little tablets. All of those things are taking us and causing a lot more, I feel, in this generation, more ineffective habits. It really is. Because I feel like, and I've seen it, people just scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through Instagram and not seeing and being aware of what is around them. They're missing what's happening in the right now. You're missing it. You're missing out on what's right in front of you. And again, when I was at the lake this weekend, oh my gosh, it was so peaceful. I did not touch my phone, but to take pictures, I missed a lot of stuff over the weekend, and it was okay. I was okay with that. I had no problems with that. And you know why? Because I was there in the now. I was observing, I was seeing the beauty in what we have, the trees, the lake, how gorgeous the wind was blowing through the trees, the beautiful hawks that were flying over not over the ocean. I wish. I love the ocean. Float over the lake, looking for worms or whatever. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful sight, and it was peaceful, and I felt so at peace. And I would just sit there in quiet and silence, even though I had friends around me. It was just beautiful. We were just soaking it up and not being on my phone and not trying to not be there, especially in the last minutes. I caught myself too, though. I did catch myself. So the last day that we were there, I was sitting in my chair and I was really just watching the lake, but I had my phone with me and I was like, oh, I need to make my grocery list. I need to put some groceries in so we can pick it up because we're going to need food when we get home. And instead of waiting until we got in the truck, I was starting to already try to make that list. But then I caught myself and I was like, whoa, put that away. This is my last day here. What am I thinking? What am I doing? I need to just be here and be in the now. I don't need my phone. My phone is going to distract me and it's going to keep me from being in some of that already because I'm going to have to do this and do that when I get home. So I'm just going to stay at this peaceful moment and enjoy it. So again, those are some things that we really need to start focusing on. We need to stop being so ineffective on these social media devices and try to break away from that because those are ineffective, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying not to do it at all because there are things that are on there that are cool. Like, oh, my friend had her baby. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Now I wish I could get a phone call sometimes. No. Right. Hey, I just had my baby. Or get a message. And I love when I do, but things like that are fun to watch and they're fun to see. And it's good to kind of keep connected with our friends, right? And see what's going on in our friends' lives. So I get that. And I'm not saying not to do it at all. I'm just saying everything needs to be in moderation. Make sure you're still being aware of your surroundings and you're still in the here and now and enjoying life because life is not social media. Life is not the TV. Life is not watching that and binge watching some of those TV shows that we love so much. It's okay to watch them in moderation, but make sure you're not missing out on the here and now in the life that's right in front of you. Okay? I'm just saying. All right. Now, let's finish up. Let's see what else James Clear has got to say about breaking these ineffective habits and living our best life. Living our best life. Let's go. All right. How can I make changes as easy as possible? This is really good. Change. Again, we don't like change, right? A lot of us don't like change, but change is good. Change is good. We need to break that mindset of change is bad and change it to change is good. Okay. Here we go. Making habits easy to do is so crucial that I named it the third law of behavior change. There are many ways to increase the ease of a habit, but one of the most useful strategies is to search for points of friction and eliminate them. Friction, that's fear, right? I would say friction is fear. Friction is being afraid of it, or just or having a mindset where you think you can't do it. Take that out. Can't should not be in your vocabulary. Take can't out. Put can. I can. I can. And I will. Say I can and I will. All right, here we go. For example, if you want to exercise before work, but the gym is 20 minutes out of the way from your commute, then you'll be less likely to make that trip. How true is that, right? And even 25 minutes, that's not that far. That's not that far, really. Come on now. Come on now. All right. So the friction is too high. Conversely, if you join a gym that is on the way to work, then fitting in workout becomes much easier. And that is true. Okay. That is true. If you can find a gym that's a little bit closer, you're going to have a better chance and a better willpower of getting there. Okay. Now, you can use this idea in reverse too. If you delete your email application off your phone after each individual use, then you'll be less likely to check email throughout the day. It's a bit of a hassle to download the app if you're simply going to glance at it. The friction is too high. And so so only you download it and log in when you really need to use it. I love this, right? Take the app out. And this is also good too. If you feel like you're on Facebook too much, or you feel like you're on Instagram too much, or social media in general, any social media, if you feel like you're on it too much, delete it for a while. It's okay if you miss some stuff. Trust me, you will live. You will get through it. We lived before Facebook was available and social media was available. We lived through it. We didn't have it, and we still lived happy lives. If you delete it for a while, you will be fine. Give yourself 7 days, like you would fasting. Fast from it. Okay. Fast from social media for a while if it's too much. And I keep saying Facebook, but social media. Fast 7 days. And then come back to it after 7 days. And I promise you, you will see your life change in those 7 days. You will see a difference in yourself. You will see how much more you get done when you fast from it. And then when you come back to it, you will not have that, I need to be on Facebook all this time. It'll be less. Like the chips, like the snacks. It's the same thing, same concept. If you buy smaller things of snacks, you will eat less. It's a thing. This works. I'm telling you. Okay, back to it. The central idea is to create an environment where doing the right thing is as easy as possible and the unproductive thing is as difficult as possible. Right? Because if you don't buy a big bag of chips and you just buy the small ones, you're only going to get the small bag of chips. Discipline. This is how we get, and this is how we learn to have discipline in our lives. We break the bigger things from our lives and bring in more small things so that we can start breaking those bigger habits. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have anything that you want to comment or add to this. Please remember that you can comment on Facebook Live. If you're listening, you can go to my social media page and you can comment on there. I would love to hear from you guys. I really would. I really would like to hear what you guys have to say about a lot of these things that I'm saying and we're talking about here. All right, next. How small can a change be and still remain useful? Here we go. Here we go. Like I was saying, small, keep it small. Keep it simple, stupid. Not that you're stupid. Nobody's stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid. All right. It can be easy to dismiss small habits as not being worthwhile. The truth is, small habits can reinforce the identity you want to build. If you show up at the gym 5 days in a row, even if it's just for 2 minutes, make it 5 minutes. You are casting votes for your new identity. As the votes accumulate, so does the evidence of your new identity. What? Isn't that great? That's beautiful. Beautiful. So let's read that again. As the votes accumulate, so does the evidence of your new identity. So those 5 minutes for the first 5 days of going to the gym, you will start seeing something. It may not be a lot, but you're going to see a change in yourself. It may not be your body yet, but it is in yourself. You have motivated yourself. You have got yourself there, and that is huge. That is a big change right in itself, and it will feel good. You will feel good that you stopped eating that as much because you got the small packages of the nuts instead of the big packages, or the small packages of the cheese instead of the big package. You will see the difference, and it's huge, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. I assure you. All right. If a small habit reinforces your desired identity, then it is meaningful. And if it is meaningful, then it is actually a big deal. That's huge, right? That's huge. Huge. So, before I go into the fourth law, I have some other things that I wanted to kind of bring into this. Because, again, I believe that being aware of your ineffective habits and being aware of your ego and understanding your ego, understanding the fear of change. Again, that's your ego. Understanding what your ego is, that's huge, right? That's going to help and benefit with these laws too. There's a lot of different steps, and that's why this is called Positivity Toolbox, because there are a lot of positive steps that we can take. However, we need to be aware of the negative ones in order to be aware of what the positive ones are, right? So, awareness. Awareness is also everything. Knowing that you are holding I can't read my handwriting. Oh no. Discarnate. Oh, knowing that you are holding discarnate energies is enough for you to release them. Okay. So let me read that again since I kind of messed it up. Knowing that you are holding discarnate energies is enough for you to release them. What were we saying earlier? To let it go, right? When you know you have that, when you're aware of that ineffective or negative thought, negative, ineffective habit, when you're aware of those, you can release them. But if you're not aware of them, you cannot release them, correct? Now we need to be aware of them. So when we are unaware, we are unable to exercise our free will. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? We all have free will. We have free will. You need to use it. Use your free will. And let me say that again, because I want us to really understand this. So when we are unaware, we are unable to exercise our free will. So to be aware is to be alive, right? To be aware of all of these negative and ineffective things that we've got going on in our lives, whether it be habits, whether it be thoughts, we can release them, but we need to be aware of them, is what is being said here. This is how and why the dark energies inhabit us, coupled with the ego. Does that make sense? That makes so much sense, right? So this is how and why the dark energies inhabit us, coupled with the ego. And the ego, again, is what? Edges God out. Our ego is what edges God out. We are one with everything. We are one with everything. And we are human. And being human is why we have the ego. Now, the ego is not completely bad. It does have its good things. And I'm going to talk about that. And maybe I think in my next show, I want to talk about the ego and how we can let our ego be what we need and not what we don't need. Okay. I would love to go over that. And I feel that would be really good. So for now, though, I'd like to try to get into some of the fourth law that he has. Actually, yes. I'm still going to go into that, but I want us to break some of these questions down. These are some questions I want you to think about. All right. So in the first law, some of the good questions are, how can I establish a new routine? Okay. How do I know if a habit is good or bad or effective or ineffective? I really prefer effective or ineffective. How can I recognize and avoid the triggers that lead to ineffective habits? How can I recognize and avoid the triggers that lead to ineffective habits? So that one's a really good one. We need to keep that one in mind. And how can we do that? All right. And go back to the first law and what he said on how we can get and break those triggers. How can I create an environment conducive to good habits, to effective habits? How can I put myself in that environment? Remember about that. Put key notes in where those environments that are not affecting you. Okay. And put those sticky notes there to remind us and to allow us to remember, hey, we don't need to be here right now. We need to do this first. Then we can maybe go there. Okay. All right. It is true. You can never really break a bad habit. You really can't break it. It's always going to be there. But it's a matter of what we're doing, right? In order to keep it from causing those effective habits from happening. We just need to make the effective habits still happen for us to still kind of do some of those ineffective habits, right? How can I develop self-control? Self-control is huge, guys. We need to be able to have that self-control. The self-control is what's going to help with the motivation, right? And to keep us motivated. And a lot of those have to keep it small, right? Have small things in order to allow the big things to happen, right? Isn't that what we talked about? And remember never to give up. Do not give up. This will take a while. This will take time. It's not going to happen overnight. And you know, our human nature and our ego wants it to happen now, right now. That's just not how it works, though. We all know this. We can't just poof, we're at work, right? You still have to get in the car. You have to get ready. You have to get in the car and you have to drive to work. It takes time. And this is going to take time as well. We just have to remember that. All right. The second law. These are the questions to think about. What if a habit gets boring? How can I stick with it? How can I stay motivated when my habits go against the grain of my social environment? Remember, put yourself in those groups. If you want to start going and doing something outside of home, say it's rock climbing. They have those indoor rock climbing places. Guess what? If you go, one day you're going to make friends and you're going to meet the groups that go there and you can be a part of those groups. And that will keep you motivated and keep you going and you've changed your environment, right? I love it. There's so many different things that you can do. If you want to get out of the house because you're always stuck in the house, or you feel like you keep staying in the house because you keep acquiring those ineffective habits like being on social media too much or watching too much TV, go to Painting with a Twist. Meet people that are painting with a twist. If you like art and you like to paint, now you've put yourself with a group that likes that as well. It's huge, right? Huge. I love it. All right. Anyway, the third law. I know I should do it, but I still don't. How or why can't I get started? Why can't you get started? Again, we're limiting ourselves. No limitations. You can do this. You have the full power and you have the if you change your mindset, you can do anything and you can get through these ineffective habits. This is huge, right? All right. I know I shouldn't do it, but I can't stop. How can I stay disciplined? Huge, right? How long does it take to form a new habit? Remember, we talked about that. Don't give up. It takes a while. It can take anywhere from, I think, what do you say, 2 to 3 months to even 8 months. I mean, there's different studies on this. It just depends on the person and it depends on the willpower, the self-control, the motivation that you put forth. It's on you how long it's going to take, but you can do it and you can get through it and just don't give up. How can I make changes as easy as possible? Small steps. Make it small, make it simple, and you got this, okay? You got this. How small can a change be and still remain useful? It can be useful for the long run. It just depends on you. If you go for a whole like 5 days to the gym and you work out for 5 minutes for 5 days, and then you go the next week, you're going to change it to 10 minutes. Then you're going to change it to 15 minutes the next week. And then you're going to change it to 30 minutes. And you keep upping that clock. And I guarantee you, those little small steps, they're going to get big. And then you're going to get to your results and you're going to feel a lot better. All right. If I only have time. Oh, wait, that's fourth law. Let's go into fourth law. I was trying to go too fast here. I need to slow it down. Slow it down. We need small steps. Okay. The fourth law. If I only have time for one new habit, what is the best habit to pick? There you go. Time. Let's talk a little bit before we go into this about time. How much time do we have? How much time can we put forth? I know we've got work, right? We have family. We have dinner. We have, our downtime. And then we have bedtime, right? So we need to figure out within that time frame, these ineffective habits that are coming in between all of that time that we have throughout the day. And we need to figure out when we can place those effective habits within that time frame. Okay. That's huge. Let's see what he has to say. This is a crucial question. Picking the right habit might be the most pivotal aspect in determining whether or not you are successful. Choose the right habit, something obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, and progress is simple. Choose the wrong habit and progress is nearly impossible. Oh, okay. What do you mean? What are we talking about here? If you're going to stay focused on one habit to start, then I suggest selecting a habit that also ripples into other areas of your life. Charles Duhigg, author of The Power of Habit, refers to these behaviors as keystone habits. For example, exercise is my keystone habit. When I work out, I not only get the benefits of exercise, but I also tend to sleep better, focus longer, and eat healthier. So see how that was one that's going to be successful, right? That is a successful habit. All right. Exercise is the one habit that pulls the rest of my life in line. And that is so true. Let me tell you, our ego causes fear, anger, frustration, all of those things. Exercise can bring that ego down and out. Let me tell you, because if we get exercise in, say you have anger issues, okay? If you have anger issues, the best thing that you can do for yourself and frustration, instead of taking it out on others, because you don't really want to do that, right? You really don't want to do that, but it happens because that ego comes out and sometimes you get out of control. You lose control of that because your ego comes out and it takes over, right? So exercise is huge for you on that because what you can do is you can release that out and you let all that out in that punching bag or on that treadmill. I assure you, if you have anger issues, that will be one way that you can release a lot of that anger and you can get a lot of that out and you're not bringing it to the table at home and not taking it out on your family. I kid you not. Exercise is huge for that. But I would also suggest talking to somebody, if it's a therapist, a life coach. There are so many people that you can talk to too that will help you get rid of that anger and frustration. Some of that can be a trauma or a past experience that is lingering and you need to let it go. And so talking with somebody can definitely help with that. Okay, sorry, I keep getting this phone call. All right, so of course, finding the best habit also depends on the person. This is partially because people often have different goals, but also because the right habit depends on your personality and disposition. People can get ripped working out like a bodybuilder, but if you prefer rock climbing or cycling or rowing, then shape your we are done. Oh man. Oh, this clock. I gotta get better. It's so small. I can't see it. All right, guys. I love you guys. Live your best life. We'll be back and we'll talk more later. Bye, guys.
Joco Community Radio.
Hey, Jill, congratulations on your son getting into the